Love you, love you, love you, Mieva here. So recently, I was asked to share more of my story here on social media. So I was going to talk about love and I was talking about relationships. I was going to talk about where and how do we look for the love in our relationships. For me, the first relationship where I looked for love was in that with my mother. She was not a warm, fuzzy, fluffy kind of person. She was warm, joyous, and happy. I don't mean that, but she wasn't the one who was cuddly, would stroke my hair, and tell me it was all going to be okay. So I never had that. And of course, that's what I was looking for so often. She was quite practical and pragmatic in her approach. So the childcare arrangements she had for me before I was old enough to go to preschool was that I lived with my grandmother, my father's mother. And I remember my mom would call me during the week, during the day. And sometimes I did not even want to speak to her on the phone because I felt so abandoned by her. I felt so lonely and I couldn't understand why she had done what she had done. I couldn't understand that during the week I lived in the country, separate from my mom and dad. I was with my grandmother. So this was very, very painful for me. So this set some patterns and messages in place. That there was a message that I didn't have the love I wanted to in my life. That there was another kind of love. That there was a love that I was lacking and I was yearning for. There was another message. I didn't know that I was loved. No matter how, and my grandmother loved me. She would cuddle me. I would sit in her lap and I could hug her, and we did this often. But it wasn't enough because I was looking for that from my mother. And when that message wasn't there, there was a message of lack of within me, in my heart and soul and in my mind. And it drove me to act and think and behave in a certain way. This also led into beliefs and mindsets that somehow I was not lovable. I mustn't be lovable because even my own mother didn't want me, is what I thought. So we make messages like this take place in our own soul, heart, mind, and body. They manifest literally in the body based on what our circumstances are and what happens and how we cope with those and how we deal with them and how we make meaning of them. Why is this significant? Because we bring these messages then with us into all of our relationships, our friendships, close friendships, our personal relationships, our love relationships. Whether we know it or not, they are part of us. So they drive the kind of relationships we have. So this helped me when, as I was older, when I was having relationships, this helped me not to trust relationships. I didn't necessarily trust the girlfriends. I didn't trust the boyfriends I had. I didn't trust that they would love me. I didn't trust that they would really value me as who I was. So therefore, inherently, there was a third message or impact was that I did not love myself, because I didn't think or feel that I was lovable or that others would love me. So this created this deep, deep sadness in my heart that I carried around for a long, long time. So these are some of the thoughts I wanted to share with you that impacted the love I had, the quality and quantity of love I had in my heart for myself, and what I took into my relationships, any and all relationships in life. So I'd like you to ponder, how does this relate to you? What are the messages you have had from your early years perhaps, or what has manifested for you in your adult life? How has it impacted your relationships, the messages you have about love? I'd love to hear from you. Because this is, I always say, if only we could heal our relationships, we could heal so much of the world. So please share what are the some of the positive and negative messages you have about love, maybe some conflicting messages, and how has this impacted your relationships, any kind of relationship. I would love to hear from you. Love you, love you, love you.